For this project, I headed to the Dollar Tree and picked up a white Halloween paper lantern, a round plastic tablecloth, and some battery-operated tea lights. First, I set up 2 of the paper lanterns. For the Dollar Tree lantern, I added some batteries to the base so the small light was functional. For the lantern from Amazon, I opened it up and put the structural piece inside. I wanted to add a light to this lantern, so I used a battery-operated tea light. I wrapped a zip tie around the light and glued it to the bottom, making sure not to cover up the switch. Then I wrapped a second zip tie around the other way, then cut off the ends. Then I fed a long piece of twine through the zip ties. I placed the light all the way at the bottom of the lantern, then tied the ends to the top of the lantern. Next, I used a small rounded remote I had to trace 4 elongated circles onto some black scrap fabric I had, then I cut them out. I did my best to make sure they were all about the same size, then I set them aside. Then I removed the tablecloth from the package and opened it up completely. I placed the lantern underneath and made sure that the top of the lantern was aligned with the middle of the tablecloth. Then I used some scissors to cut an opening for the handle of the lantern to go through. Because the tablecloth was longer than I wanted, I trimmed away the excess at the bottom. I wasn't super precise with the cutting because I wanted the length to be a little whimsical and not perfect. Then I hot glued 2 of the black fabric pieces onto the tablecloth in the middle of the lantern. I also decided to glue a small faux pumpkin to the tablecloth. Finally, I hung up my paper lantern ghosts on some existing hooks that I had on my patio. These little ghosts are super cute and a super easy Halloween project that really adds a lot to my outdoor space. They look great in the daytime and especially at night with the lights turned on. I also really love that they're holding a little pumpkin. I think that adds a little something special.
I was looking around the Halloween section at my local dollar store, and what did I find but the most adorable clear pumpkins and skulls. The first thing you need to do is drill holes in the bottoms of all of the pumpkins and just 2 of the tops of the pumpkins. String your twinkle lights through the bottom of the pumpkin and all the way through, then stuff about 1/3 of the remaining twinkle lights back into the pumpkin. Thread the remainder of the twinkle lights through the top and screw on tightly. Glue the bottom of the pumpkin securely to the base and let dry. Thread the twinkle lights through the bottom of the second pumpkin and then stuff about half of what is left of the twinkle lights into the second pumpkin. Glue the base of the second pumpkin to the top of the first pumpkin. Thread the lights through the top of the pumpkin and screw on tightly. Now, display with some pretty fall or Halloween items such as an old gold-framed mirror, a black runner, or a lace tablecloth. Candlesticks with used candlesticks for a bit of a spooky feel, faux pumpkins, or faux flowers and vines, or whatever else makes your heart sing. Both the pumpkin topiary and skull topiary look great during the day or night.
Dollar Tree this time of year has got some great Halloween stuff out there. Just go through and pick up anything and everything you need, especially these lights. And then look at these little skulls. They look so lonely. I think we should take a few of these home for our next project. So what we want to do is grab an old palette, any kind will do, and we're going to lay it out, start painting the top. Looking for some gray primer to put on the top. Now, the reason we're going to use a primer is, number one, it's going to help with any moisture, especially with the fall season approaching. We want to cover basically all the top and get that base coat on there. It also helps with any light reflection, especially from the lights that we're going to add. Next, I think we should do some two-tone. Let's go ahead and put a little black paint on there. It's going to make this project shine a little bit more. Just random, put it on there. No need to put it on too thick. And then a little driftwood, which is a little bit of white. Give us a 3-tone paint. Let's go ahead and put the palette exactly where we want it. Let's grab those cheap old lights and get them out. We're going to start placing those all underneath the palette. Put those up and under and around and through. Now, if they start to get a little bit out of the way or they're going to recoil, just grab a stapler and put it down in there. Make sure you don't puncture the wire itself. Also, where the plug is going to be, make sure you put that up there. Keeps it out of the rain. Now, the great thing about these plugs is they plug in to the back of each other. You can put 4 or 5 or 6 of those on, and they won't overheat. Then we want to do is make sure, get all those lights out from underneath. I use 4 strands on this one. You could use 5 or 6. 3 might be a little too light, so put it on there, especially with all these orange lights. You want to cover the surrounds on the sides a little bit. I had some bricks laying around. You could use some rock or some bark dust. I took the brick and I kind of separated it because some of the light is going to come out from the bottom. That will give us a chance to allow the light to go ahead and shine through just a few of these gaps. So I got the bricks all put around, and then next, remember those skulls? Let's just wedge those through the pallet wood right there and pop it right into place. Go ahead and put as many as you want. I think I chose 3 or 4 for this project, and I just randomly put them up, especially to pay attention and look at the people coming up. Next, we want to put those little skull hands up there. These little skeleton hands just look great. I did put just a dab of glue just to hold it in place in case the wind came up. Now these hands look like they're reaching up through the bars coming from the ground. And then remember those orange twigs? They look like fire just raging out of the bottom. So put them up, spread them out. And then last but not least, I found a little rat at Dollar Tree, put it right on top there. Add a few little signs on the sides, and then once the lights come on, look at that. Right at the entrance where the little trick-or-treaters come up to grab their candy, you can have a little flasher on the signs if you want.
Next time you're at Dollar Tree, don't pass by their Halloween section without grabbing one of these large plastic skeleton hands. Skip on over to the wedding decor section and you're going to grab yourself a silver platter. I'm going to take the plastic skeleton hand and I'm going to use an X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut off the fingers at all the knuckle joints. So working along here, I'm just going to start at the bottom and work my way up. It's a little tough to get the X-Acto knife through the plastic, but once you get it, it snaps off pretty easy. And since there's no thumb, I'm going to cut off the last finger here, and then I'm going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to stick it in sideways to kind of create my own thumb here. And then making sure that you use Gorilla Hot Glue. That's a very important step because it has the best hold and it's going to make sure these fingers stay in place, because we're going to put them back, but we're going to curve them around so it looks like the skeleton hand is going to be holding something. So we want to reposition all the fingers at the joints, making sure that they're curved up. Once we have it all set in place, we're going to come in with a little bit of white spray paint. So I'm going to be using Krylon brand here. It bonds to plastic really well. And we're going to give this hand a full spray coat and let that set. While the hand is setting, I'm going to come in and work on my silver platter. So I'm going to be using this Deco Heart Enchanted paint. This is an iridescent paint. I'm going to use a wet sponge and I'm going to dab it on the silver tray. Once that dries, I come in with my iridescent top coat. So this is the part where it's going to show you that iridescent shine here. You put this over the black and it gives it that nice spooky kind of shine. It's really cool. And I work back in with some more black if I feel like I need a little bit more of that. Once our plastic hand is dried, I'm going to come in with some brown paint and I'm going to wet it down with a wet sponge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work it all over the hand here, working it into the grooves and crevices of the hand. We want to make this hand look nice and dirty, like it's just come out of the crypt. So we're going to work in some blacks and browns and really rub it into all the grooves and the cracks, making sure that no bright white is showing. Once that dries, we're going to again come in with some Gorilla Hot Glue and we're going to fixate it to the bottom of the silver tray. And then we leave that to set. And while that's setting, we're going to come in with our little candle holder here. And I'm just going to fill it up with some fake flowers that I also got at Dollar Tree. I put a little piece of styrofoam here in the bottom to give them something to stick into. And then I arranged the flowers just in a nice little arrangement here in this candle holder. And then when this is done, we can go ahead and hang it on our wall. And this is the finished look. So what I have here is a spooky skeleton crypty hand coming off of the silver platter. And it just adds a little bit of spooky fun decor to my home. So the other neat idea here is you can put whatever you want in this hand. This is the hand here without anything in it, just so you can see. But when I put my flowers in here, it adds that kind of chic Halloween look. But you could also put like a flameless candle in here. Anything you really want. You can feel free to make this project your own. I really hope that you enjoyed this project. I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you so much for tuning into Home Talk, and we'll see you on another video.